You're locked on In the News with your guy, Franky and
Rochelle.
Hey, we're back at you with news from around the globe, whether inspirational, positive, entertainment, what's going on in our communities. We got you. And today, man, some serious dough was handed out to the family of Sandra Bland. Did you hear about that? 1.9 mil.
I heard about that. And you know what? That's not nearly enough money. There is no amount of money that you can give to a family who has lost a loved one by the acts of police brutality or a senseless act of crime. There's no amount of money. $1.9 million is, it's some money, but it's not enough for a life taken.
Let's start here. For some of you that may not have heard this story, because I talked to a couple people today, had no clue, have never heard of this story. Sandra Bland was stopped for failing to signal in a lane on July 10, 2015 in Waller County. While incarcerated, Bland was found dead on July 13th. So literally, within 3 days, she was found dead in her jail cell. Attorneys for Sandra Bland's family say a settlement has been reached for their civil suit. This is where the $1.9 million is coming from. And also, basically, in a nutshell, the police officer, or should I say the state trooper that pulled Bland over, was also later convicted for perjury for lying about his reasoning for pulling Bland over. So we got a lot of sketchy stuff, and I know we've been seeing a lot here lately in the media regarding the public outcry for police brutality. And you mentioned the 1.9 million is not enough, but I don't think anybody can put a price tag on a life.
You can't.
I definitely feel that the 1.9 million is a step in the right direction. I really think that as far as the police, counties, and community, everybody has room for improvement. That's a given. One of the conditions for this lawsuit was now the county jail will be required to have 24-hour nurses there for these type of incidents. That's a plus. I would have loved to see more additional training for these officers in this settlement, but this is really what it ends up becoming, because we're all so different as people, whether you want to talk about nationality, race, whether you want to talk about age differences. It's just a challenge to keep everybody on the same level. And when you're in law enforcement, you have that ability to actually be abusive, so you need to make sure you're checking that power. I mean, what are your thoughts?
I do think that there are a lot of answers that need to be there's a lot of questions that need answers. That's what I meant going with that statement. There's just so many things that are in the eyes of the unknown right now. We don't know what took place in that cell. People are angry. People are outraged. They're outraged, for one, the reason why she was pulled over and the way she was treated. And then a couple of days later, she's dead. So what has taken place between the stop and the incarceration? What happened in between that can maybe give the family some ease at heart as to what went wrong with their loved one, and to kind of pad it a little bit with $1.9 million? No.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we need to examine what's going on with society and what's going on with law enforcement. Definitely coming up in my day, my mom had me later in life. So my mom was literally in her late 30s when she had me. So she still had a bit of that civil rights movement, that kind of, I don't want to say slave mentality, but that slave mentality to make sure, there'd be times where I would go to certain regions in the country and she would tell me never to look a white person in their eye, or to never say anything negative, or never even look at the police because they may kill you. And these were the things that literally went on during the civil rights movements, lynchings, things of that nature. So coming up, I was always fearful of the police. I can't lie. If I get pulled over now, I'm sweating bullets, even though I haven't did anything wrong, because it's just that fear that's placed inside of me. And that's something that I have to deal with individually. And I don't think anybody should ever have to feel that way. But these type of stories are definitely causing a pain point in society in regards to interacting with the police, because a lot of our younger citizens, they feel they should be able to express their rights, and they should. But when you have things like this that come up, man, it's just crazy to be pulled over for a blinker or traffic infraction, and then 3 days you're dead, and the woman just came down for an interview. She was just in town to get an interview and ends up dead in a county jail. It's just crazy.
It's crazy because a lot of these things and a lot of these emotions you feel about what your mother warned you is still relevant.
Right. So What do you think? Let us know in the comments. And you've been watching In the News with Franky and Ro.